Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
How you guys doing? Sister Patty, Director Patty. Sister Karen. Come on.
Hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon.
How you doing?
Yes.
Okay. So what are we gonna actually do? You're gonna start and then I take over. How it goes?
I kind of hearing an echo. So I'm not hearing too good. You hear me?
No, I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
I said I'm hearing an echo.
You're hearing an echo.
Yeah.
All right. Let me set. So I can. All right, I'm doing some technical thing here to reset it. You hearing me on time?
Not too good, but go ahead. What you were saying?
Yeah, I'm going to.
Very good.
Okay, Karen, much better?
Yes, I'm here.
You hear me better? You hearing me better?
Listen, Pastor.
Are you hearing me better now, Claire?
Hold on a second. Hold it.
Yeah, I was asking you if you're hearing me clear now. I changed it now, so it should be better now. Um, I was asking you if I should start do the preliminaries and then I. Okay. This is okay. The share screen. The same. No, I take off the. No, that's not camera. Hi, Taryn. We good now? You hearing me?
Yes, I'm hearing you good now.
All right, good. So you seeing me?
Where you going now?
Okay, let me.
Yes,
Seeing me now?
yes, I'm seeing you. Yes, I'm seeing you.
All right, good. So you do what you have to do, and then I'll join you.
Okay. Well, we know that we can't go anywhere. We can't have any Pathfinder or anything. But
Yeah.
this is something that all of us will come together and do. You
Yeah.
know, at least we can make ourselves occupied in the meantime. We don't have to wait until we go back in the church or anything like that.
Right,
And
right.
guess what? Those who we haven't seen for a long time because of each other on Zoom. So we have some honors planned for the weekend. Yes, we have some honors planned for the weekend. And
Right.
we pray that while we're doing these honors, that we may come have a closer relationship, and through it all, that we may have a closer relationship with God in the end. Right?
Yeah.
So being as our area coordinator is here, we'll ask her to pray for us as we start this honor.
Okay, no problem.
Yes. Penny, Joycelyn.
Oh, good afternoon, everybody. You said area coordinator, so I wasn't sure if you meant Nolene or me.
Good one.
Okay. Let us, good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Hi, Pathfinders. Hi, Pastor. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we are so thankful for your holy Sabbath day of rest. Father, we are indeed thankful also for the initiative that you have put in the heart of Sister Archibald. It's a wonderful initiative, and I pray, God, as we go into this weekend, that we will have a wonderful weekend working with each other and experiencing God. This is my prayer in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you so much, Sister Penny and Sister Archibald. And I see we have 41 participants. That's all the folks who should be on.
I'm looking, I'm still missing some persons, but they will come in time.
Okay.
Name, so that nobody said that they was here and made them. Writing down the name.
Okay, good. All right. Elder Nolene is there?
Yes, I saw her somewhere.
Yes, Pastor.
How are you doing? Are all the Pathfinders okay in the congregation?
Not as yet. Quite a number are present. We have DeMarco, Zene Royal, Stephisker, Abby Jamari, Dequan, Trevisis, Shelroy. We have Ahmed, Crystal, and we have some other counselors, Avenel, Althea, Schwan, Walford, Joven, Linnell. So we have. So if you have not heard your name, Pathfinder, maybe you signed in via a device and you did not place your name, can you please let me know by sending me a private message if I did not call your name? Thank you very much.
Okay. Can a Pathfinder find for me Psalms 139 verse 14? Any Pathfinder?
Psalms 129 and what, Pastor?
Psalms 139, 139 verse 14.
Verse 14?
Yeah, 1-4.
Psalms 113 and verse 139 and verse 14 says, I will praise thee, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are thy works, and that my soul knoweth right well.
Amen. That's Pathfinder Asian.
Yes, Pastor.
Thank you so much. I will praise thee, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are thy works. This afternoon, I want us to, by now you should be aware that we are looking at cactus. And cactus is a part of our nature. We can go outside into the deserts, into the mountains and so on, and we can have a look at cactus. But this afternoon, we are going to do cactus as honor. And I want you to listen as I share with my screen. There are 5 things that you need to, 5 requirements that you need to meet in order for you to complete this honor. And so this afternoon, I want us to listen carefully, take your notes, and make sure you have the information put down. Before we start, let us pray. Almighty God and Father, be with us, be with the Pathfinders, the directors, Pastor Elliott, as we discuss this afternoon. For Christ's sake, amen. Just remember that you have to keep your mic muted so that you don't disturb. And for any Pathfinder, I want you to answer me. What is a cactus? Any Pathfinder, what is a cactus?
A cactus is a plant that is usually found in a hot place with very sharp spikes outside on the exterior, and some of them, I think some of them store water inside.
Wow, that's Pathfinder. Kiyoshi?
No, it's Zalik.
Oh, Zalik. Okay, good. Thank you so much, Pathfinder Zalik. Right, you are correct.
He just said any.
What I want to now share with you my screen. Look on the screen. Mute your mic. And are you seeing my screen?
Yes.
All right, good. Here I want us to look at some characteristics of a cactus. Can anybody tell me what is the plural of cactus? Any Pathfinder?
Cacti.
Cacti. Thank you so much. You're so correct. So a cactus is singular and cacti is plural. Some characteristics of, as a matter of fact, let me go back to the top so you can, for those who haven't studied it. Right, here we are now. Good. So some characteristics, there are some characteristics, 4 characteristics of a cactus. Number 1 is the areoles. The areoles, they have flowers, branches, spines, sprouts from these. No other plant has this feature. So here we are seeing a difference between the areoles and other plants. They have flowers, branches, and the spines sprout from these. And no other plant has this particular feature. That's the first characteristics of a cactus. The second characteristics of a cactus is that it has spines. Perhaps the most familiar feature of cacti, spines can vary greatly in appearance. So it is not one way, they don't look one way. They vary greatly in appearance. They greatly in their shape, size, and color. So if you go down the road, if you go up in the hills and then all the way up there with Director Eric Brown, you can't definitely say this is the direct shape or color for a cactus, because they have different shapes, different size, different colors. Spines, however, are not turns. Can anybody explain to me what is a turn? Any Pathfinder? You know what is a turn? Fern, sorry, fern. Any Pathfinder knows what is a fern? Give an example of a fern, any Pathfinder. Okay, so I see you have some homework to do. Continue to listen. Then the third aspect is flowers. Flowers are not unique to cacti, but cacti flowers are unique. What is that saying? They don't usually have flowers, but when they have flowers, it is quite unique. It is different from all the other flowers that we know. Cacti flowers are typically quite spectacular and very complex. So it's not like you looking at a regular hibiscus flower or so on. It is very complex and unique. And I want you to take the notes that as I have them there. Unfortunately, this field mark is only helpful, of course, if the plant happens to be blooming. So if the cactus is not blooming, then it would not give a flower. And not all blooming cactus have flowers. And when you do see them, it is always spectacular. It is beautiful because it is unlike anything else. So that already I gave you 3 characteristics. And then the last characteristic is the leaves. Most cacti do not have what? Leaves. However, some do. Pay special attention to the presence or absence of leaves. And I know there is one of the cactus family that the folks, I'm not sure if they eat it here in Antigua. Taryn, do you guys eat that in Antigua here? The one that is called the Cactaceae?
I live in Antigua, Pastor.
Yeah, in Antigua we eat that, but I am not sure if in St. Kitts.
No, not in St. Kitts. We don't eat it.
No, not in St. Kitts. We don't eat
Antiguans eat it with saltfish. I was
Yes,
exposed to it by a friend, not Kittitians.
And it has a wonderful taste. Yes. We have a set of it by the Seventh-day Adventist mans. You would usually cut the young sprouts, and then you would peel them, scrape them off, and so on, and then you boil it and drain the water, and then you stew it up and you eat it nice with saltfish and, in my case, chunks.
That's how the Antiguans do it.
Yes, that's how they do
So the
it.
next time you do it, you need to
I'm
share
not
so that we could taste
Antiguan.
it.
Not Antiguan.
It doesn't have to be Antiguan.
Yes, but the truth is, I don't eat it. If the folks cook it at church, I would eat it. But beyond that, I really don't cook it because I don't know how to cook it. So they have leaves, but it is not a something that you usually see. So that also is a particular feature about the cactus. The cactus, the origin of all cacti are native to the what? The Americas. So we have South America and we have North America. We have Central and Latin America. So Pathfinders, take notes, and surrounding islands. So some small islands have them. I would have seen them in Nevis, but the folks don't eat it just like the Kititians. Although it is it's a worldwide cultivation has made this less helpful for identification. So a lot of people, because they just don't use it, there is a particular cactus that is called Salis bachyphera, and that is an exceptional one. And because a lot of folks don't know about it, they would usually cut it down and they would plant because they don't know the importance of it. So there are 4 characteristics. Let me go back for you so you can see it. The first one is the arrowless. The second is spines. The third is flowers. The fourth is leaves. So all these are the characteristics, and then you have the origin. So they are found in the Native Americas and in dry areas, very dry areas like the Sahara deserts and so on. In deserts and so on, you would find the cactus. Can anybody tell me why in those places? Why can you find the cactus in dry places?
Because you can find them in dry places because they grow better there.
Right. Thank you so much. How does cactus store water? Anybody? Any Pathfinder? Anybody knows?
In the leaves, in the stem, I must say.
Right, good. Those that have the leaves and those that have the stem, you can actually cut it on a day when it is hot and you're thirsty. You can actually cut it and you would get water coming out from it. So yes, they store their water. Then what are 4 uses of cactus? Here you can see cactus is used for decorating. I usually would see folks, they would take eggshells and they would cut them and put them on the cactus sprouts, and then they would paint them in different colors. So, and even in the household plants and in the gardens and so on, they have them there close to their fence, and they would just put eggshells or they would put other beautiful things on it and they would decorate it. Then this is quite interesting from my research. Cactus is also an edible fruit. Can anybody tell me what edible means? Any Pathfinder? When they say edible, what it means?
Edible means that you can eat it.
You could eat it.
Right. Thank you so much, Pathfinder. You can eat it. And I would have put out here for you 3. You have the prickly pear and the Ilocerius, and then the dragon fruit. I know of the dragon fruit because in Antigua, there are some Amerindians who would sell it on the market street. So that is how I was familiar with the dragon fruit. But the others, I am not quite familiar with them because they are not in these parts. But yes.
I have the dragon fruit too.
Pardon?
I have that too, dragon fruit.
You have the dragon fruit?
Yes.
in your yard?
Yes.
Wow, it's amazing. Where you got it from, Director?
I think passed by the farm on the bypass, the Chinese and the Taiwanese.
Right.
A cousin of mine work there.
Right, they are the ones who would usually have them. They somehow brought them in, and they're planting them. And I've never tasted it, but I heard that it tastes good. I don't know. Is that true?
Yes, it is.
So you would eat it like pomegranates?
I'll eat it in more like kiwi, something like that, because they have the seeds inside. So I'll save one for you.
Okay, good, great. Thank you so much. All right, so number one, you can use it for decorating cacti. The cactus, you can decorate it nice and so on. Then you can eat it. You have the prickly pear, the Ilocerius, and the dragon fruit. So that's 2 uses. Then the third uses is for psychoactive uses. The peyote, these are some big words for you Pathfinders. So as you study, as you research, is a well-known psychoactive agent used by Native Americans in southwestern United States. So they would take it and they would like cut it up and mash it up together. And what they have inside there, they use it as a paste to deal with certain sicknesses and so on. So it can be used for that. And then also host for bugs. So a lot of people, they would have it, the opuntia is also used as a host for cochineal bugs for the cochineal dye industry. So they would have that particular bug there and the bug would feed upon the cactus, feed upon it, and then they would take the bug and then they would use it, and whatever the bug has inside of it, they would boil it up and do all kinds of things with it, and they would get dye. So the colors that we have on our clothes, some of our clothes, they are used from that particular dye to make clothes and so on. So those are some uses of the cacti. Please take note. If you want me to go back so that you can get the note, just indicate to me and I will do so. Then, in what places are cacti the most plentiful and why? I asked you the question earlier, but let us read. Pardon? They say cacti can adapt very well to dry climate or rocky terrain like deserts or mountains, but they can thrive in jungles. They prefer a hot, dry climate, not a humid. Hot climates, as popular myths suggest. The fact that they also thrive on sandy rocks, and that is true. You would have seen if you look in movies and so on, you would see cactus growing on the rocks. Have you ever seen that, any Pathfinder? We would have the cactus growing on rocks and so on. And sometimes you would see the goats climbing up and eating them and so on. Because the way water does not pool near or on them, the nutrients the soil is rich with. So in a desert and in mountains and on rocks, they don't have soil contents and so on. And so the cactus would thrive on the moss on the rocks or between the cracks of the rocks, where waters are stored in the cracks of the rock, and they would grow. And when it rains, the cactus would store the water, and that is how they thrive on rocks and in sandy places. So in what places are the cacti most plentiful? Any Pathfinder?
Deserts.
In deserts, right, and in mountains and so on, you would find them there. So if I go to Keon Seventh-day Adventist Church, I wouldn't see any there unless somebody planted there. But if you go into the desert and in the mountain, you would see them growing, and you would see some pictures of them. Good.
This pretty.
So here, number 4 is saying, you have to know and identify from life or pictures 15 species of cacti. And that is supposed to be your homework, Pathfinders. Any of the Pathfinders started that homework, that research?
Okay, number 4.
Any Pathfinder started that research?
Pathfinder say you're going too fast, Pastor.
I'm going too fast, so they want me to go back?
I guess so.
And identify.
Excuse me, Pastor, I think that's a pancake cactus, but I don't really know the name of it.
Right, good. You're very close. So I'll go over it from the top, but let me go down slowly. So number 4 says you have for your homework, you have to know and identify from life or pictures 15 species of cacti. So you have to go online, research it, and get the pictures, and you'll be able to identify the different species. And also they have tribes. So they're particular cactus that belongs to a particular tribe.
Okay.
So when you research that, you would see it. So that's a picture of one. Here is another picture, and it gives you the name. Cactaceae compass barrel. So that is one there. You see it looks like a barrel. It's round, and it has some spines there. The features that we spoke about. Those little fine needle-like stuff. Yes, those are the spines. And in geography, spines are more confined to cold and hot places. That is why they have the needle-shaped kind of spines on them. I'll show you another here. This is the cow tongue. Cow tongue. Anybody knows this one? Everybody has seen this one?
Yes, I have, Pastor.
Yes.
Right, in St. Kitts?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So it is something close to this.
Yes, yes, yes.
Right. So on these you would find little sprouts coming up, and the young ones, that is what the Antiguans cook. I am also told that the cow's tongue, I think in Dominica or St. Lucia, I'm not sure, they put them to dry and then they strip them and they use them for craft. Because when you dry it and you strip it, you get some fine strings looking like straws, and they would use them and knit them and plait them to make crafts. Right, this is the Cactaceae golden barrel again. So you see how it looks there. I'm going to show you some others. Right. Yeah, these are the ones mostly that grows in Antigua. The Cactaceae and cactus. Yes. These are the ones that we mostly have in Antigua. And these are very troublesome. When you go up into the hills, the Cactaceae Mojave prickly pear. When you go up into the hills, they would literally stick under your shoe and get into the sole of your foot. And once they get into your foot, they have a way of expanding themselves and literally getting deep into your skin. So you have to make sure that you get them out before they start to go into your flesh, because once they get into your flesh, they would literally expand themselves and go deeper into your flesh beyond your skin.
Excuse me, Pastor.
Yes,
I'm not sure if it's this prickly pear, but I remember hearing you say one of the prickly pears you can eat. They're edible. So is this one?
No, not the prickly pear. It's the dragon. The dragon.
Oh, the dragon
what that
fruit.
Director Archibald has. It's a pink kind of looking the dragon fruit. Yeah, it's not this one. Right. So when you go up into the mountains and so on, be careful of this very same guy, the prickly pear. Even if you pass by and your hand jams it or rub against it, it gets into your skin, and you will literally feel it going into your skin. So you have to literally take it out quick before it gets into your skin, and it pains a lot. And then you have the old man of the Andes. This one grows in the Andes. And it looks just like an old man with some gray kind of spines on them. Right. And here I have another one. And this is the Cactaceae Old Man of the Mountains. So once you get into the mountains and the hills, you would be able to identify them based on the 4 characteristics.
Excuse me, Pastor, is that cotton on it?
No, because it is the spines that they have. It looks like ferns, but there are spines shooting up from it, and it looks like an old man gray hair. That's how it looks.
Oh.
Yeah.
Kind of look like cotton.
Yes, and here we have the Cactaceae purple pancake cactus. Isn't that a nice one? It is like the pancakes that we make at home. Just like the pancakes, the pink pancakes, the purple, sorry, pancakes. So once you get up into the hills, one of these days, I am not sure, but we can make arrangements with Director Eric Brown to go up into the mountains so that we can be able to identify them and see them. If we have the Microdaces, albipinsus rabbit ears. It looks like a rabbit ears. These are mostly in the sandy areas. You can see them there.
You can find some of those at the beaches, I think.
Yes, yes. These you would find them at the edge of the beach, right? You're so correct. And then you have the Cactaceae red barrel cactus. So the spines are literally red, and they grow like a barrel, the shape of a barrel going up there. And you have to be very careful when you're passing next to them. Yes, because the spines, once they prick you, it pains a lot. And then you have the Cactaceae silver cholla. See how it looks there? It looks like a rusty piece of seaweed, sea moss. But once you mash it or you get close to it, it gets under your skin. So you ought to be mindful when you are around them. And then you have the Cactaceae star cactus. You see it there, it looks like a star. Yes, it looks like a star. And here's another one, is the Cactaceae teddy bear cholla. So it looks like a teddy bear. So not because it looks like a teddy bear means that you're going to hug it up. If you go and you hug it up, then you're in trouble. We have to take you immediately to the hospital because you would have thousands of spines from the cactus on your skin, and they would be going deep and deep into your skin. So they look like a teddy bear, and you are tempted to go, ha, mommy, oh, daddy, look, it looks like a teddy bear, and you would want to hug it up. But please don't go and hug it up. All right, so I want to take you back to the top now. So we are going to go over it slowly, slowly. There are 4 characteristics of a cactus. First one is the arrowless, the arrowless. Second is the spine. They look like ferns. They have needle shapes, like a needle. That's how the spines look, like needles. Yes, and they have, the third one is they have flowers. And the 4th, leaves. So the 4 characteristics are arrowless, spine, flowers, and leaves. So if ever you are in a mountain or in a desert and you want to know if it is a cactus, you have to look for these 4 characteristics: arrowless, spines, flowers, and leaves. And you would find them in deserts, hot places, in the mountains, and on rocks. Then you can use the cacti in 4 ways. It is used for decorating in your garden, on your fence, in your house with the plants. And then number 2, it is edible. You have the prickly pear, the Ilocerius, and the dragon fruit. So you can eat those. Make sure that you can identify them. All right. Those are 2. Then the 3rd and 4th is for psychoactive uses. They would cut them up and so on, and they make a kind of paste, and they use it on your skin to for sicknesses and so on. And then you have for bugs, that they would attract the bugs, and the bugs would be there, and they would be eating and feeding on the cactus, and then people would come and they would take it and they would make dye that they use to dye clothes and other stuff. So those are the 4 uses of cactus. Any questions so far, Pathfinder? Any question from the Pathfinders? Okay, we move on. So far, let me go back to the top now. You have 5 aspects that you need to complete. 1, the first aspect is you have to know the chief characteristics of a cactus. That is part of the honor. It has 5 aspects. So number 1 is you have to name the chief characteristics of a cactus. All right, Pathfinders. Then the second one, you have to name 4 uses of cactus. These are all parts of your requirements. So here we have, I give you the 4 characteristics. You have to know those. And then thirdly, you have to know in what places are cacti the most, or they grow most, and why. So you have to be able to do that. And then 4th, know and identify from life or pictures 15 species of cacti. So you have to go on Google it, search for it, read it up, and you have to have the 15 pictures, and you have to be able to identify them. So you have to study them. You have to do the research on them. And lastly, you have to photograph, observe, or sketch at least 10 species of cacti and classify them, or grow at least 3 different species of cacti. So you have a lot of preference there. You can either photograph. All right, Pathfinders, listen now. Please mute your mics. Number 5 says for your requirement, you can either take a photograph, observe or sketch at least 10 species of cacti and classify them, or grow at least 3 different species of cacti. So there are 5 requirements that you have to meet in order for you to fulfill the requirements of the cactus honor. Are we together, Pathfinders?
How we gonna go through different types of cacti?
How you're going to grow them? Then you would have to go around and search for them. Go to the different, there are places that you call them nurseries, that they would sell plants and all of that. You'd have to go around, check, ask around, call Ministry of Agriculture, ask them if they have that. And then you would go and get the 3 species, because you have to identify them. You would tell them any 3 species that you need, and you would probably have to go and buy it, or they may give you, and you have your little pot with your little soil, and you put it in there and you water it and you keep it. Or you can have a photograph of it, or whatever is your preference. You choose to do that, and your directors would take note, and you would be able to fulfill the requirements. So there are 5 requirements for you to fulfill on this cactus honor. And once you meet those requirements, then your directors and so on, they would sign off, and then you would eventually get your honor. Are we together? Any questions?
Yes, Pastor, could you please go over number 1 and 2 requirement, please? And take yes, please, and please take the time. Take the time. Thanks.
All right, number 1 requirement. Number 1 requirement, name the chief characteristics of a cactus. I give you how many? I give you guys 4 characteristics. So you have to name them and give the definitions. So like ROLS, let me go back here to the top. You see like how I have it here? So you have to name them and give a brief description of what they mean, all right? So that's number 1. Number 2, you have to name 4 uses of the cacti, And here I have 4 uses are decorating, it is edible. Number 3, psychoactive, and a host of bugs. Those are the 4 uses. So please take note and make sure you have it. So that's requirement number 1, requirement number 2. Requirement number 3 says you have to say in what places can you find cactus and why. Number 4 says know and identify from life or pictures 15 species of cacti. So you have to go and get 15 species of cacti and be able to identify them. So you have to go and Google it and whatever you have to do in order to know and identify the 15 species. And number 5, the 5th and final requirement says you have to photograph, observe or sketch at least 10 species of cacti and classify them or grow at least 3 different species of cacti. So are we together now, Pathfinders? You have the 5 requirements. Any question, Pathfinders?
Pastor, repeat number 5.
Number 5?
For me, please.
Number 5, you have to take a photograph.
Yeah.
Observe or sketch. So you can at least, it's easier for you to get the photograph, but you have to photograph, observe or sketch at least 10 species of cacti and classify them or grow at least 3 different species of cacti.
Thank you.
All right, any questions?
Pastor, you said we have to observe them and grow 3 of them also. When is that for?
Observe them by taking pictures or you can either take a photograph of them and label them, or you would have to literally go and get 3 species and plant them.
But when is it for?
When?
Yes.
Director Taryn, can you answer? I am not sure when is this requirement due?
Well, I'll say next week. If you're gonna plant it, at least you could bring pictures and show us that you have already planted. But I think next week Sabbath, before we start the other honor.
Oh,
okay, thanks.
Yes.
Okay, Pathfinder, so you understand? Understand that now? Okay. Good. So what have you learned today from Cactus? Any Pathfinder? Tell me one thing that you learned today from Cactus. Any Pathfinder, what have you learned today?
That it can be decorated as house plants, in dry gardens, or even as a fence.
Okay, good. All right. Any other Pathfinder, what have you learned today about Cactus?
Some cactuses
It can be very painful.
If you are being pricked, right? If you are pricked by a cactus, it can be very painful.
Cacti
Right.
can also be edible in some ways.
Right, right. So when Director Archibald brings one of the dragon fruit, I will be able to eat it, and I will take a picture of it, and I will show you what it looks like.
I have the tree right here, you know. I can show you the tree, and a flower is actually on it. Let me show you.
Oh, okay, yeah, that would be beautiful.
Go ahead.
I learned that
Beer. They have to be like in a family. So this is a family I have here, and this is the first flower for the summer.
Okay. Oh, wow.
You see it?
What color is the flower? It's a little bit.
reddish.
The kind of green with red. So what I'll do is like when you chop the flower, kind of look, it's beautiful. When you try it out, I'll take a picture and send it to Pastor. So he can show us the next time.
Okay, great, great, great. Oh, oh, that's a dragon. Okay, good. Thank you so much, Director Archibald. And the other Pathfinder, what have you learned?
Hello?
Hello?
I learned that you must be careful with all those cactus and all those kind of things so it doesn't harm you.
Right, good. So if I am hungry, can I eat a cactus? Any
Yes, you can, but it has to be one that is edible.
Right, good. You've been listening. That is awesome. Yes, you just can't eat any and any cactus. You have to eat the ones that are edible. Thank you so much. What else, Pathfinders, did you learn of this from Cactus? Can I go into the supermarket and buy it?
You can use it for decoration.
Right, you can use it for decoration and so on. Yes. Good.
Yes, Pastor. Some supermarkets, not all, those ornamental ones, you can get a few in there, but they're very small.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But those are for the decorative kind.
Yes,
there are some places in the supermarket where you can go and find some of these cacti there.
Yes, yes, they have some little pots. I know in Antigua, we have a supermarket called Epicurean. They have the plant section, and you would find them some little pots and so on. People would buy them and decorate them and so on, put them in the house and in the yard and so on. But I haven't seen that here.
And also there in Antigua as well, the cacti that is grown there, we call it Cactaceae.
Cacti, right.
Yes, and some folks they pick it when it's young, when it doesn't have in the strawny thing, the fiber in there, and they would sell it on the road for $10.
Yes,
I know that in Antigua, but they don't do it here in St. Kitts.
Yes, yes, I did mention that they cook it and so on. Yes. What else, Pathfinders, can you say that you've learned? Any other Pathfinder, what have you learned?
You can use cactus as a dye.
Yes, indeed. You can use it as a dye, indeed. Yes.
Water.
You can get water also from it.
They store the water in the stems or the leaves.
Right. Hello. Hello. Yes. So we can see here that God has created this world in such a unique way that even nature itself has its own way of operating. And the cactus plays a part of that. We ought to be mindful that nature also speaks about God, and when we step outside, nature is so beautiful, and every now and then we have to take a careful look at nature. And when we look at nature, God speaks to us. Any other questions?
Hello?
Hello?
The question is, there are kinds of cactus that can be in the desert?
Yes.
Yes, there can be all kinds of cactus in the deserts. And that is why your homework is for you to make sure that you can identify them and know them. So if perchance you're lost in the desert or you're hungry, you know that you can cut this one and you can eat. You know you can cut this one and get some water, at least to quench your thirst. So you have to know them and identify them. Know which ones are edible, which ones you can't eat, know which one you can cut and get water to drink. Yes. I've learned so much from cactus, even though I know the cactus. Even from studying the cactus now, there are a lot of things that I know now that would help me now when I'm in the mountains to identify the different tribes of cactus and so on. And as Pathfinders, once you study it and you know it, you can say, hey, that is a dragon fruit. Hey, that is an old man. You know, that is a teddy bear. That is a rabbit ears. Yes, you can identify them, but you have to study them and make sure you understand them.
Excuse me, Pastor.
Yes, Zalik, Pathfinder Zalik.
Can a cactus have a lifespan in it? Like you would only go for this specific amount of time?
Well, from my studies, they grow for a long time. They can grow tall, especially the barrel ones, they can grow tall. And they last a long time.
My other question is, do they grow in a specific period of time too? Like some would go in June and some would go in December.
Well, I haven't seen that in my research, but they seem to grow all year round in those climates because a desert is usually hot all the time.
Oh, okay.
Except for in the night sometime, it might be a little bit cooler in the night, but usually a desert is hot all year round.
Okay, thanks.
Yes, thanks. Any other Pathfinder?
Pastor, could you explain? I'm kind of curious about how it is used. I think you said either Dominica or St. Lucia, they use it and they dry it. Could you go over the process again for me, please? I'm kind of curious on that.
One of the special, one of the cactus family, they would put it in the sun and they would dry it. And when it is dry, they have some string in it. And they take the string and they would plait them and make craft with them. I had some in my yard, and a Dominican lady passed by and she said, "What are you doing with those? You know that we make craft with those in Dominica?" I said, "Well, I never know that." Yeah, I had a big one in my yard growing right by my front bedroom, but it was getting so big I had to literally trim it, cut it down, and it started to sprout back again and so on. Yeah, but those are the ones that it is mostly like the leaves are very thin, and it grows about like 3 feet in length. And those are the ones you would dry, and then they have some string in it once it is dry. Those are the veins inside of it, and they would take them and plait them and make crafts in Dominica. And from the directors now, what have you learned, directors? Anything new that you learned about the cactus this afternoon?
I didn't realize there were so many different variety of them.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a whole lot. And some, I'm sorry.
I didn't know they could have dyed clothes.
Yeah. Yeah.
For me, I had a cactus, and I guess maybe I killed it because not knowing that it stole its own water, I guess I feed it too much. So, so now the next time I decided to plant one, I know I let it go on its own and feed itself. Yeah.
And sometimes you have a cactus family and you don't know, you say, "Oh, look at that plant," but it's really a cactus.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know cactus. They see it as a plant and they say, "Oh, well, it's a plant," but it's really a cactus. Any other director, counselor, what have you learned about the cactus?
Pastor, I realized that I have 3 different varieties in my neighborhood right now. So I think for me to complete the honor, I'll get the other 2 to plant so that I can have that. And also when you were talking about what they do in Dominica, I kind of believe that we used to do that here when they used to play Mass at Christmas time. I think I remember when I was younger that they used to come and buy these things.
Curry is not cactus. It's a snake plants them, and we make platter with them and tie them.
Okay. Well, but we have 3 in our neighborhood right now, so I'm going to look for the other 2.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Over the peninsula, I have a lot of different types.
Over the peninsula?
Yep. Going up Senior Citizen Hill, you have a few over there.
I'll take a drive across there sometime to see them.
That's a walk.
Yeah.
Yes, Pastor, I've learned. I didn't know cactus could be taken and used to make craft. And craft is my middle name. I love craft.
Yeah?
So
wow.
I am going to, because I got a few and I start growing some. That same one with this, I'm going to dry it like you said. I'm going to do a little experiment, and I'm going to get the crochet needle ready.
Okay.
So I'm going to see. I'm going to see. You know what I could do with it, maybe to make a basket, or maybe to take it and make a hat or a bag or something like that. So
okay, good.
Experiment lane.
yes. All right.
What I realized, I was looking at a document the other day, and what they're doing now is making leather out of cactus.
Yes.
They're using it now because what they're saying, the animals' leather, it's getting scarce, so they try to use plant, and they're planting a lot of cactus, and they're making jackets, bag, all kind of things from cactus now. So it really is a good plant.
Yes, it is. The one with the psycho paste that they make. Yeah, that is part of what they do. They boil it, get it together. The cactus, the strands that are in it, they're very strong. Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. I really saw it. And these jackets are very expensive, eh?
Yes, yes, it is. Yeah.
And Pastor, just to add to the craft part, I
Yeah.
know I watched because the as we know it, the pineapple is a cacti too, and is a cactus. Sorry, and I've watched the I've watched the video that they take when they finish harvesting the pineapple. They would take the leaves, they kind like rub it to get off the green part, and then they leave it in the sun to dry, and they use it to make some nice bags and things like that. The fiber is very useful, I know, for the pineapple tree.
Yeah. Yes, definitely. So did you guys know that the pineapple is part of the cactus family?
I just know.
No.
So that means I have two already.
No, that's strange.
So
That's
a lot of
strange.
folks, have these cactus and they don't know that it is cactus.
Pastor,
Yeah.
is aloe part of the cacti family as well?
What? Aloe?
Anybody knows what is aloes?
No.
Nobody knows what is aloe vera? Yes, aloe vera is like it's shaped like a grass thing, and it has spikes on the end of it.
Yes,
and
you can use it for abscesses.
You could use it for your hair and to put on your skin.
Yes, and you can rub it on your face for the ladies who don't like the pimples on your face. You rub aloe vera on your face, and that's natural. What they call it, the face mask. Yeah.
Yes, but the question was not answered though.
That's true.
Is it part of the
cactus?
That's the only question here, you know. That's only smitten.
Actually.
Yes, it's part of the cactus family.
Yes,
okay, then I already have the tree then, Pastor.
What just say it's a part of the cactus family?
Yes,
no, it is. But I have my three.
We have a tree.
Yeah. Yeah.
There is, Pastor, there is also another cactus. Well, I don't know what they call it here, but when I used to go to school, we used to use it to make, it's like a straw. Well, it's a cactus, but they call it screw pine.
Screw pine.
Yes, and it grows some really long leaves. There's prickles on the side, on each side, and at the tip. But
that's the one I have. That's the one I have in my yard.
Yes, you have to gather it when it's green.
Yes.
Then splice off the spiky parts, and then cut it up into strips, and then you put it out in the sun to dry. And you can use it to make hats and bags and mats and shoes and sandals and things like that. That too is a part of the cacti.
Yeah, I have that one in my yard. Yes.
Oh, well, I'm coming over to get some.
Not in this yard in St. Kitts in Antigua.
Oh, in Antigua, okay. You have to be specific, man.
Yeah. Yeah, so the cactus family is wide and large, and there are so many uses of the cactus that it would amaze us. And we need to be able to identify the 15 species, know the tribes in which they belong to. Like pineapple and aloe vera, they have their different tribes and so on. So you would have a better understanding of what the cactus family is all about. And you can rightfully identify them anywhere you go.
Pastor Elliot.
Yes, Sotia.
Can we drink the aloe? Can we eat the aloe vera?
Yeah, people eat the aloe vera. You cut it. You cut out the green part because the green part is really bitter. And you eat the inside, it has a clear gelish kind of thing. You
I
eat
give it my hair.
Yeah, and it actually tastes good when you eat it.
I only eat cassie. That's all I know.
And you can also take the inside of it and use it in your hair. And that's a natural aloe vera because they use aloe vera in the shampoo and the soaps.
Yeah.
So if you cut it and you use it naturally and put it in your hair, it prevents your hair from breaking, and it allows your hair to get that black shine sheen. Yeah, those are the natural uses of the aloe vera.
Okay.
You could
And
use
Pastor,
the
can I
juice
add
that
a
come
little
out
bit
of
to
the
that?
aloes, the
Yeah.
yellow like juice,
Yes.
and drink it.
It is used for a lot of different medication.
Yeah, you
Yes,
blend
I
it
was
up with
just about to
ice
say
and
that.
so on and make a nice smoothie.
Feedback. Press
I
feedback.
was just about to say too that the aloe vera have some very medicinal for use for medicine. You can put it inside of your a smoothie or a sorbet and
Yeah.
blend it up with orange juice. And
Definitely.
those the teenagers
Yeah.
might have like maybe the menstrual pain every month. If you
Yeah.
drink a glass of that the week before time,
Yeah.
it's very good for the pain and it works. It works.
Right.
Yes, and it's
Somebody
good
knows
for
their stuff, man. Somebody knows their stuff. It's true. It's so true.
It's good for
and
cleaning
it is,
out. To
yes,
clean you
it's good
out,
for
you
your
can you
colon on
constipated.
the inside.
Yeah.
It cleans out the bad bacterium that is in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Sometimes we eat different foods and so on. We might eat a fish, and the
Yeah.
fish might have a worm, and then the aloe vera will help to get rid of that worm, or you call it expel the worm out of the stomach, so it come out to the other part. You know,
Yeah.
so it's very good for that. It's a wild feel. I'll stop there because there's lots more.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
very good for
Definitely.
constipation as well.
Yes, definitely. So there's so many things that we can learn, and that is what I love about the Adventist Church. People are exposed to information, and as young people, as leaders, let us avail ourselves to information. Be available when these honors are made available to us, and different other things, so that you can be in the know. You can always have information at your fingertips, so that it will help you to be a better person, to understand life, and to know how to deal with stuff. I really enjoy presenting this cactus to you guys. I pray that you guys would have learned something, and as you go now and you take the pictures and you study and you Google and you learn of cactus, that it would inform you so that you can better make use
Temporarily
of God's handiwork. And it would be a testament to the world that God in his creative works was awesome and is still awesome. And people can know of God even through nature. Elder Nolene?
Yes, Pastor.
I haven't heard your voice.
Yeah.
Anything new that you learned about cactus today? What is new about cactus that you know?
Can you repeat that, Pastor?
Anything that is new about cactus that you learned today?
Not really. It's
Not
just that
really.
I did not realize that they had such a wide variety.
Yes, yes.
Well, it's basically new
Right.
information.
Right. Okay, right. And so it's on tomorrow, right, Director Archibald?
Yes.
Tomorrow we will be doing camping skills. Is it both 1 and 2 together or one?
Well, you could do one, and then maybe switch one next time.
So those who want to do camping skills, you can join us tomorrow at what? 10 o'clock, right?
Yes, yes.
Tomorrow at 10 o'clock, I'll send out this Zoom information so that we can be on and so on. And in this lockdown time, we still can make ourselves active and be available to learn something that can help us. Because in the last days, these information would be important. When we have to go to the hills and live in the hills, we have to know what
Amen.
plants
Amen.
are edible. We have to know what plants are poisonous. All these things we have to know. Right? All right. We soon should be going into AY time. What time is it, anybody? Let me see. 4:21. It is soon AY time. This is just so that we can get into our AY time.
Please mute your mics.
Yes, please mute your mic. I'm going to ask Elder Nolene, Director Nolene, pray for us. If you have any further questions, clarity, you can always give me a call. I'm available.
Yeah, good afternoon, Pastor.
Good afternoon, Elder.
Good job, good job.
Right, yeah.
Good to see the action of the Pathfinders and so on.
Yes.
You know, as they're interacting. Just one thing to, I was just finding out from Sister Edith if she was aware of this session, but she did not. We hope that the person setting it up would indicate, you know, to the Pathfinder leaders, send it to them somehow. And it was placed in a virtual church group by Nolene. And I cite pretty close to the meeting time.
Oh.
You understand?
Okay.
So that if they can get it to the leaders before, so they in turn can communicate with their Pathfinders.
Pathfinders, right, right.
All right, Brother Bradshaw, Pastor, may I clarify something, please? I did make an attempt to call Sister Edith, but she did not answer. I left her a message. I left her the Zoom link, and then when that failed, then is when I thought about sending it to their church district chat, because I know that definitely persons would see and log on. So I did try to reach her.
I thought I saw Director Lake on sometime. Yes, I saw that name.
Yeah, but I did try to reach her. So I made all efforts to do so this afternoon. All right, thank you.
Director Lake is here. I see her.
Yeah, Nolene.
Yes.
Yeah. Then we can put it in the the Pathfinder group list and so on, the leaders list. So
okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
All right.
Yeah, all areas, so that because
I logged in late.
Go in the virtual church list. Yeah, understand?
Right.
Yeah, yeah, and sorry, notice there.
Good afternoon. If I may interrupt, can we work out the logistics after, as we still have Pathfinders and so forth on the chat? Let's work out the logistics amongst ourselves after.
Okay.
Okay. Pastor, before we pray to close, I know that you mentioned camping skills, and some of the Pathfinders will be telling me that they have camping skills already, but the camping skills will be going on at the same time when we had word processing going on. And word processing is from the Explorer class going up, from the Explorer to the guides. So they will be occupied as well.
So you want to shift the time?
No. Your time is okay.
Okay.
For the camping skills, because it's for the 10th class.
Okay. All right. I asked somebody who I asked to pray.
Nolene.
Okay.
Elder Blanchard.
Yeah.
Okay, again, let us pray. Father God, we just want to say how thankful we are for the productive session that took place this afternoon. Thank you for the leadership of Pastor Elliott. Thank you for Sister Archibald and all of the counselors who came by here and the parents who came by here to support the Pathfinders. Into your hands, we want to recommit this initiative. Continue to bless us, Father, as we strive to do what is right and pleasing in your sight and cater to the needs of the youth. Bless, keep, guard, and direct in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you for being here, and God bless you guys. Enjoy the rest of the Sabbath.
Have a good afternoon, everyone.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. God bless.
Bye-bye. That's your money.
So doing for grapes. It's not grapes, it's
The leak. Okay, no.
Turn off my helmet, but